Animal advocacy is multifaceted. There are many groups employing very different tactics, working toward slightly different goals. What binds them together is the general direction of their actions and the concern for farm animals. Given the variety of tactics, you could think the industries profiting from animal exploitation are under attack from all sides and have to respond to all these threats, which should wear them down. But somehow it's not happening. The death camps aren't closing. Why? I'm going to present you a highly speculative explanation bordering on being a conspiracy theory. For the cruelty industry, it is imperative that they don't give in to the accusations of torture and exploitation. They would lose money. They would cease to exist. But they know the public becomes more and more aware of the horrific conditions the animals spend their entire lives in. The public becomes aware of who these animals are, sentient beings capable of complex feelings like joy, grief, trauma, pain. The industry has to respond. So the animal activists and the industry step into the ring. It's a fight, but it's not the boxing ring. No, it's a wrestling ring. And here, every punch is fake, every injury is make-believe, every concession is simulated. And the industry lets into the ring only those who won't do any real damage. You don't let into a wrestling match a real boxer or an MMA fighter, do you? The industry fights lengthy battles. They win some, they lose some. People see the fight and cheer their side. Sometimes, when the industry loses a battle, animal advocates celebrate a victory. Finally, we're making some progress. Who would have thought about that 30 years ago? They say. In reality, the fights are just for show. It's a distraction. Chickens still break their legs under the weight of their mutated bodies. Pigs lay in cages, never seen natural light. Cows are exhausted after another forced pregnancy. Today, there are more animal victims than ever before, and the numbers are increasing every year. The real harm is done outside of the ring, far from the spotlight, and the animals are losing every single time. So who is in the ring fighting against the instrument of torture? I call them the controlled opposition of the animal movement. They don't know it. They think they fight for real. What do they aim for? They campaign for humane slaughter. They try to pass policy changes for bigger cages. They try to convince farmers to produce free-range eggs. They work with the cruelty industry to increase the market share of grass-fed beef. You may be confused now. Isn't it better for the animals to live in bigger cages or cage-free? Before trying to answer this question, let's think about the consequences of working toward adoption of these practices. If changes like these will be known widely, it will open up a new range of excuses for benefiting from animal abuse. I eat meat, but the conditions of chickens are getting better. I eat eggs, but I choose free range whenever I can. I like steak, but I try to buy grass-fed beef. I eat ham, but they don't suffer when they are killed. Thank God for human slaughter. It's an excuse. People will then project these excuses on other products of animal abuse. Cake, milk chocolate, leather jacket, and shoes, fur, and many other things. These practices can only work in very limited numbers. They don't scale. It's impossible to convert all farms to cage-free, grass-fed death camps. So people will still financially support the most cruel methods of exploiting animals, believing they are doing the right thing, or at the very least, the best they can. In the end, it's a license to kill.